Hey y'all, fried plantations. I wanted to take you guys back to the first time I ever heard Destiny speak, and perhaps you can get a glean, an insight, something, something maybe interesting for you that you might have not noticed 4 years ago, back in 2021, when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on. They were going on in Salt Lake City, Washington, Mesa, Seattle, Seattle, Seattle. So yeah, um, the first time I heard him speak, I knew he was a fucking cunt right away. So let's check it out.
Let's see here. We haven't heard from him for so long. Steven? I think we're connected, but I can't hear him.
Excellent troubleshooting material.
I don't know if he can hear me.
Interesting. David doesn't seem to know if Destiny can hear him. Great, great.
I think we're connected right now. He can hear me. Okay. We can't hear him. That's interesting.
We're working out the kinks, and this is so fun to watch.
Let's see what we've got for settings here. Settings, voice and video, input device, output. Oh, I see. Hold on.
By Job, I think he might have it.
Input device. Steven, can you hear me?
I sure can. Wait.
We can.
I don't know if that came through on my recording, but after David Pakman said, "Steven, can you hear me?" it sounded like a faint, weak, nasally, kind of a nosy, nerdy sounding voice that said,
Hear you now. Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, your microphone changed as well. Oh, well, what's up?
Yeah.
And there it is. We got Destiny on the line. Buckle in, folks. We're ready for some... Well, I guess I'll let you wait and see.
Yeah, I wanted to give you my silky microphone, so I changed the configuration.
Thank God. The other one was very coarse.
Yeah, I figured that you were going to be displeased with it. So what?
Unfunny joke.
Yeah.
What's going on? I feel like I haven't talked to you since the brunch.
It might seem, you know, like something you could write off right there, but it's kind of a fucking weird thing to say. I have not spoken to you since the brunch. Kind of a weird thing to say. I don't really care who you are. It's just an odd phrase.
And
Jesus.
Things have gotten crazy since then.
Not well, like my issue. I just.
All right. Things have gotten crazy since the brunch. Followed by Destiny saying, he did not even say a single fucking word right there. Let's continue.
I just want to talk about real politics, and online is like so white and so left and so socialist. It's so boring that like all of these politically irrelevant dipshits dominate like the YouTube and Twitch sphere.
Oh my
and
God,
I
you're
hate
shot
it.
out of a cannon. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you're not alone there, David Pakman. Nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about, and I didn't know what he was talking about at the time either.
In like my corner of the internet, it feels like the majority.
My corner of the internet? What the fuck does that even mean as well? there's no corners to the internet. It's pretty much an infinite plane. And, well, maybe I'm being too critical on the guy. Maybe he's about to make some great points.
Majority of the discourse is about like fucking socialism
Oh,
and like
really?
the riots over this people dying to the white police officers is actually about like the Bernie revolution and shit, and it's like, oh my god. So I've just been like, I'm trying to just like auto mute and auto block everybody now on Twitter that
Yeah.
has to do with like anybody that calls themselves a fucking socialist or communist or larpses any of these like far left ideology. I'm just muting them and trying to get back to like tweeting like more relevant ideology. So things that like Tim Pool are saying, or Steven Crowder, or Ben Shapiro, or any of these types. I'm just trying to desperately claw my way out of this like vacuum of irrelevant political thought.
That was a power packed 15 seconds. All right. Socialism bad. Talking about socialism, that is, and communism. So much so that our man Destiny is trying to claw himself out of there, out of these Bernie Sanders discussions, and to reach this pinnacle of crawling where he can finally talk about what Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, and Ben Shapiro want to talk about. He needs to be with them where they dictate the terms and they provide the stuff he can battle against. Is that because he got owned by some random shithead socialists or communists on the internet before and he's butthurt? I feel like that was even wrong of me to say. I don't like the term butthurt. I feel like that's something Destiny would say. So let me retract that. Did he lose in a argument with internet people about politics, and it was so brutal that he wants to go back where it's safe, where he's with Steven Crowder, and you know they both know the rules. It's like, hey, you're a total douchebag, and I'll just counter your douchebagginess by also being a douchebag. Is that where he feels best?
Wait a second. You're trying to get into the things that Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro were tweeting?
I'm trying to get into talking about those issues again. Like, I'm more interested in talking about like what Trump is doing right now rather than dealing with these delusional dumb. Am I allowed to swear on your channel?
Yeah, we're just on Twitch right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Rather than talking to the delusional dumb fucks that are convinced that like Joe Biden is just as bad as Donald Trump. So like these like the Michael Brooks of the world, or the Kyle Kalinskis of the world,
Oh my
like
God.
Hasan Pike. Like I'm trying to get away from like that delusional.
Michael Brooks, rest in peace. Kyle Kalinske, rock on. But I think the most important name we just heard dropped there was Hasan. Maybe that has something to do with the brunch.
Stupid shit and back into like more mainstream political conversation. It's so much more entertaining to me than arguing with another person that has another interpretation of some socialist dipshit ideology. It's so boring to me. I hate it. And these
But
are like
hold
the
on.
loudest
Oh my-
people.
So boring to me. I can't recall a time in my life where something was boring, and because of such, I started hyperventilating and stuttering and fucking spurting the fuck out. Like, I remember going to this Native American museum slash field where like they used to live, and like there's nothing there anymore. It was just a field, and I was probably 10 years old. It was boring as fuck. I didn't come home and like hyperventilate about it. I was just like, ugh, that sucked. Super gay. Obviously, Destiny doesn't find this discussion boring. I think he's feeling quite the opposite. Like he's fully engaged and triggered and almost hyperstimulated by whatever the fuck happened to him.
In my corner of the internet, so it's really frustrating for me to deal with. Sorry, go.
Is this Steven?
Yeah, what's up?
What is I'm shell shocked by what's going on. I feel like I saw you 3 months ago, and I just don't even understand what's happening right now.
Yeah, well, how's your life been?
I mean, I haven't been, going down the Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro rabbit hole, I guess I would say. Jeez.
Do you remember? Oh, well, I'm sorry. When I say that, when I say like going down that road,
An attempt to save face, but he didn't mean he wants to become like them. And it doesn't really matter. The fact that he would rather hang out and talk with those absolute scum, like Russian/Koch brother funded brainless fucking cunts. That's problematic for a leader of the left. And of course he didn't mean he wants to just become them. But I think David, as I was, is, just dumbfounded right now. And it's like, hey, I'm going to call a friend. And when I call them, they're spinning like a top, like sputtering, stammering, flapping around, sounding like a fucking hot-headed retard. And it's startling. Yeah, it's gonna take anyone aback.
what I mean is that like the issues, like talking about like Trump and how he's like demonstrably harmed the United States, and
Yeah.
these issues are more relevant politically than like how can we become a socialist country?
Oh my God!
That's
Of course. I
what
mean, listen. I'm not a
Yeah.
socialist, and I agree with that. But you're
Yeah.
not like. But Ben Shapiro is not doing that, is he? I mean,
Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry. You might be misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What I'm saying is that like Ben Shapiro or like Tim Pool or Joe Rogan, these guys are putting forth arguments that I think are harmful and relevant to current American ideas.
Oh.
Harmful, yes. Relevant, never. Destiny's got that good shit.
Oh.
Yeah. So I want to be in the realm of like, I want to respond to like what the Crowders of the world are saying or what the Joe Rogans are platforming, or like, I want to respond to that type of harmful thought, not argue with socialists and communists all day.
So let me see if I can like put the best possible spin on this. What you're saying is,
Let me jump ahead of David here. Whatever David comes up with to try to spin this, there's nothing you can say. It's fucking retarded. It makes no sense. And this is the person that still thousands say is the bulwark against fascism. So if we let him get away with his sex crimes, we're essentially just letting, the Nazis take over America. So we've got a lot of retardation, and 4 years ago, this guy was not well. I'm sure he's not gotten better since then, and he won't get better from here on out, unless something changes for his life personally.
we've got 5 months to an election that is either going to be Trump getting reelected or Joe Biden. And so
Yes.
for you, theoretical arguments about socialism are less relevant than exposing Trump's totalitarian tendencies and getting him out on November 3rd.
Yeah, 100%. That's a way more relevant argument. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Or like if I'm talking about between like Biden versus Trump, the argument shouldn't be who's more likely to usher in a new era of worker-owned capital or socialist revolution.
All right, David's trying his best here, but Destiny is full of fucking shit. Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, I know you didn't mention him. Steven Crowder, and the other fucking retard. They are never presenting arguments that are relevant. They're always presenting culture war, bullshit, distraction, bait. And the fact that Destiny, as a leader of the left in 2021, couldn't get this, and that he thought going on air with them would help Biden win, which he eventually did, but he's just a delusional fucking retard. Let's continue.
It's like, well, who's going to be less harmful for the United States or more beneficial towards like our progressive values, our immigration system, maybe universal healthcare, stuff like that is more what I'm interested in. Yeah.
Do you think now, I mean, listen, I'm a social democrat, so that's like well-regulated capitalism. My audience knows that, you know, maybe your audience knows that. Okay, fine. But what do you think of the argument?
Yeah, Pakman's a loser too, but he's at least someone I can understand, and he's consistent, I guess, or something that makes sense, I guess.
Just made this to me 10 minutes ago, that we need those socialists to move the Overton window.
Sure, I guess.
They
can go move it in a place that I don't.
By it.
No, the problem is that a lot of these online socialists don't understand
online socialists
at all how political systems work. And when real life people do try to move the system to the left, a lot
of real life people,
of these guys online turn against them anyway. A really good example of this as of lately has been like AOC or the Justice Dems or Bernie Sanders. Notice how they are making real changes towards the platforms of Joe Biden and trying to move the country to the left. But now all the socialists have like disavowed these types of people and are like, oh, well, fuck you, Bernie, you're a sellout, or fuck you, AOC. Like, you know, you sold out too hard to Pelosi. You were way better when you and your campaign head were like firing off like dramatic tweets at other like Democrats all day long.
This is the thoughts of a delusional man. I was there. I was watching this. I was actually pretty much glued into Twitter, especially towards the election, because it meant that much to me. And I don't remember any of this shit that Destiny's spurging out about at all.
Like, that's actually the way forward. So I think that like, and to be clear, I need to enunciate this every time, okay? I'm only talking about like the online radical, very, very extreme left people. Like the real life progressives and Bernie fans and Justice Dem fans and everything. I think these guys are largely cool. So like
what the fuck is this man talking about?
The Cenk Uyghur types. I don't know how to pronounce those names.
Cenk Uyghur, yeah.
Yeah, like those types I'm okay with. Like those guys are cool. I appreciate the work they do. And I do think that like having somebody like a Bernie Sanders type to push us a little bit farther to the left, I think is good. Yep. And there have been like changes in Biden's platform. You know, they've come together and they've worked on making certain concessions to win over Bernie's audience. I think that's largely like a good thing. And I would credit Bernie and his pretty far left run in accomplishing some of that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I found it, I was concerned when AOC and Bernie both said things that to me seemed sort of like uncontroversial after Bernie dropped out. And after the fact, some of their supporters were like, they've either sold out or they were never real. They were always playing a character or something like that. Like,
all right, this has nothing to do with what David's actually saying, but he's intentionally like talking very slowly, trying to bring the speed down, like he's talking to a child that is throwing a fit. And he's even repeating Destiny's stupid points before. I was a huge Bernie fan myself. I was devastated when the DNC removed him and put old Dirty Joe in instead. It made no sense. Bernie was leading in the polls by a shitload. And when he was taken out, I don't remember anybody going after him or AOC and saying this stupid shit that Destiny's coming up with. I don't think David even heard that either. But at this point, we need to slow down. Destiny has been stammering, stuttering, bumbling this whole time. We all just need to chill out. And I love that David is aware of that, and he's trying to slow everything down.
What does that say about the people who followed them so closely? Like, were you so bamboozled that you did, like, you now all of a sudden, after, you know, following Bernie for years, you're like, oh, now he sold out. Like, are you such a poor judge of character that you didn't notice all along?
Yeah.
Oh man, David just made a face like he wants to get out of this call, like he's disgusted. He just made like a anguished face. I don't even remember what his question was, but let's hear Destiny Spurg more.
The problem with a lot of these people is, honest to God, like, a lot of it is just people just don't really know how the United States political system works. Like, it really comes down to just that. Dude, if I had $1 for every time some far left dipshit says, why didn't Obama fix the police? Like, what the fuck is the president going to do? He's not the guy that puts in, like, police commissioners everywhere.
If anybody ever asks you, why didn't Obama fix the police, you should probably just nod and say, I don't know. Go home and say, well, that guy was a fucking retard. And that'd be it.
He doesn't dictate local police policy ever. Not to mention the fact that even if he could, Obama only had the ability to pass meaningful legislation for 2 years. You understand the president can't do this unilaterally, right?
Yeah,
and they don't. Like, a lot of people just have no fucking idea.
The second part of what you're saying, I agree with, but there's no question that, I mean, listen, when Trump says, I'm going to open up the economy because I shut it down. It's like, no, you didn't shut it down. It was governors who decided to shut it down. And ultimately, it's governors who are going to decide to reopen it. But there's no doubt that if Donald Trump earlier had said, hey, governors, I need you to be with me on this, it would have had an impact. And in the same way, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that a president could do the same when it comes to police reform if they wanted.
For 2 years, yes, but not when you've lost your majorities in the House and Senate. Like, at that point, yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, for 2 years, even without the Senate or the House, a lot of this stuff depends on states. The president could still say, hey, governors, here's what I want to do. Who's with me, sort of thing. You don't need the House.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, if you lose so much in the midterms, in like these, I don't know, these are historic landslide losses or what, but in these.
All right, I have to take issue with both these dudes here because the phrase fix the police is just giga retarded. It's a meaningless phrase. What does that mean? Nothing. So both of them, I think, are kind of flapping around wildly right here. But, you know, Destiny's kind of spurging this whole time. And I think, hopefully, we're almost to the point where he reveals, like, his decrepit, rotten core to all of the motivation in his entire life, and it's really dumb and gay and pathetic. So let's continue.
Pretty massive losses. Yeah, like, how much political capital does Obama have, right? Like, Obama could be like, listen, you know, you guys, if you need to be with me on this, and they're like, okay, well, listen, dude, like, you're not winning us any elections at the moment. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how much, it's not like Trump, Whereas before the last midterms, I would argue that Trump seemed to have quite a bit of political capital and that he could kind of move people around, although he sucked at it. So maybe not even. But like at this point, I don't think Trump has much political capital to get big things done either, right? Because we saw a pretty big blue landslide in the House, and now coming up to the presidency, holy shit, we might even see like a flip of the Senate. Yeah, just like the electoral politics game is like is a pretty nuanced game that has to be played at at state levels that people just don't care about. A lot of times people think the president is literally a dictator that can come in and just single-handedly, unilaterally get all this stuff done, and he just can't. The president's just not that powerful.
Yeah,
A lot of retarded stuff there, but let's continue.
that's definitely just a misunderstanding about how these systems work. You mentioned a little bit before, like in your screed, about the people you're furious with.
Oh yeah, I need to know what Screed means. Let me just write that down real quick before I forget, because I feel like that was a diss. Like Screed, it can't be a positive term. Screed, if I were to guess, means like dumbass fucking rambling by a retard, but I can't say for certain.
You mentioned Hasan, and I want to tread carefully because my instinct is that
You mentioned Hasan, and then Destiny fucking snorts. Uh-oh. What did Hasan do to you, Destiny?
there may be something. I don't know what's going on, but were you upset with what he ordered when we went to dinner, where you were like, how could he choose those dishes? And was that like, I feel like I might have been responsible for the start of the downhill.
I'm gonna kick your ass the next time I see you, okay? I'm unironically in a video game, okay?
What the fuck is going on? Apparently they all went to dinner. Apparently they all went to brunch. Apparently David Pakman felt like a third wheel, where the angry couple of Hasan and Destiny were, just getting sassy with each other or some shit. But anybody who says I'm gonna hurt you in a video game, that's not okay anymore. We're not saying that anymore. Saying it in a very gay, like giggly way like that, that's even worse. But what the fuck? When Pakman brought this up, Destiny kind of resorts to becoming this ghoulish, kind of like giggly, kind of ghoulish, golem-y freak. What happened? Did Hasan rape him in public?
Are we talking, or are you talking to someone else?
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic must have cut out. What did you ask me? Yeah, I was very upset at the dishes he ordered. You got me.
I like, you seem to be very much against lamb, and he ordered lamb. And no, but seriously,
Yeah.
like,
It's
what?
just like it's like an atheist thing. Like I think lambs are pure,
The cap is unreal.
and a lot of biggest
I'm
sacrifice
trying
and a
to
lot
figure
of.
out, like, you guys are. This is not like a fake beef now.
No, I don't fake beefs. All of my shit is real that I do online. Like I don't have like these like, hey, we should pretend to fight with each other, blah blah blah. Like I wear everything on my sleeve. Like all my positions are real, my friendships are real. Like I don't set stuff up for drama online.
I don't. I'm almost unreal. Just trying to translate for you.
Whatever.
And is it, if I may, it's his political positions that have infuriated you, or was there a falling out of personal nature?
Well, so like in the beginning, he misrepresented himself as being like a liberal, but the reality is that he's a socialist, and he like is insanely like anti-liberal, right? So like so him and a whole bunch of other people online use like liberal as like an insult now. They call them libtards, and they say, oh, liberals, blah blah blah. And I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to get away from talking about like the socialist shit. Like it's just so boring to me and so politically irrelevant.
But now,
And there you have it. This is the pathetic, retarded reason, not only why he doesn't like Hasan, but why he's so ingrained into this pigeonholed fucking bullshit. You gotta think and talk this way mentality about politics. It's because Hasan, apparently, when they all went out to the hibachi night, Hasan ripped off Destiny's pants, raped him on the table, and Destiny just can't get over it. I can't go any further right now. It's taken a long time already. I don't know how the fuck this can go on for 24 more minutes, but Destiny's a loser and giant. And now that we know he's a rapist, it's even worse. I hope he goes to